Hey folks, how are you? It's Bob Nolly here. You'll notice we're doing a little bit different opening here. I've had a lot to think about the past 2 weeks. I'm sure you all have too. It's a changed world already. So instead of having a former guest or friend of the show open us up here, we'll start with the normal theme coming up. But I just want to tell you what's going to happen here. For the foreseeable future, I am going to broadcast every day. I'm going to post every day. I'm going to do much shorter. We usually do like 20 to 30 minutes more if we have an interview. But we're going to go much shorter, and I'm just going to try to bring the leadership theme in to the news as it centers around COVID-19, the coronavirus. I'm not going to do any news analysis. I probably won't be too political. And if you listen to this, and if you'd like to jump on and send me a message, let me share your thoughts, or think you've got a take that you would like to add, we can work that out too. All right? So that's what the lay of the land is going to look out soon. I am going to continue with the Coolest Women in the RVA stream and do those full shows because those ladies have been waiting for a while for their stuff to come out. I want to get that done, but I'm still going to do that on a regular basis. But this is going to come out every day in the interim. All right. All right. So there it is. And thanks for being here. So let's get started. Once again, thank you for listening.
Live from the RVA, this is the Labrador Leadership Podcast with Dr. Bob Nolly. The program that brings you the leadership skills that can make you the most authentic, approachable leader for the sake of your business, your team, and for you. Now, here's Bob.
Okay, here we go. I've been home for 4 weeks now, working from home, and I feel fortunate and blessed that I've been able to do so. There's a certain amount of infrastructure and a way of doing things and managing your commitments, those important things that we talk about often, that I mentioned here. And because I had done this for so long in the past, practice makes perfect. I've been working in a working from home environment for 7 or 8 years. And even though I have a day gig still, I think there's an infrastructure, a way of being productive and getting things done that you become comfortable with. And I'm having meetings down with folks that aren't quite there yet. Granted, people have a lot on their minds. There are people that don't have a job to go to right now. There are people that are worried about their own health and the health of their family and others. There's a good bunch of people, though, that still have to get to their jobs. And in the kind of project management role that I'm in, it is difficult to get people to focus now, including myself. There are times when I'm totally distracted, worried about any one of a number of things. But from a technical side, the underpinnings that I have in place to do this show, to do all the online work that I do, have been very helpful in making this happen. So I've been home for about a month. So coming out of the University of Virginia, a letter from President Jim Ryan was dated March 16th. And at the time, politics aside, at the time, this was a great example of what appropriate leadership looked like to me at this point. And it was sent to all the alumni, and I'm just going to read segments of it here. It's dated March 18th, and it said, "Dear Bob, yesterday, March 17th, we sent a message to the university community announcing actions across a variety of fronts to slow the spread of coronavirus. Many of these actions are unfortunate and disappointing, but we're nonetheless necessary. For those who wish just a summary, and had a link to a huge document that was many pages that talked in detail about a lot of these. Classes will remain online throughout the spring semester. So folks were on spring break at that point. After that point, no more classroom classes. Everything moved online. Final exercises will not proceed as planned. The team is already focused on alternate ways to March commencement. Let me tell you, the walk down the lawn is important. And they just said it's not going to happen this year. All events on the grounds are canceled, no matter the size, until at least May 15th. Of course, but now I'm sure that date's later. On-ground housing will be further restricted. Only those who have no other options, read that as have no place to go, will be permitted to remain on ground housing. Students will need to return to the grounds to collect all of their belongings. Will be given guidance on when it's safe to do so. Dining options will be limited. I think in the end, they only had one dining hall open. Prorated credits or refunds will be provided for on-grounds housing and dining contracts. So when you go, we'll refund the portion that you have unused. Faculty and staff who can work remotely are beginning to be told to do so. These decisions are significant and will have serious consequences. Especially hard hit will be fourth year and other graduating students who are looking forward to celebrating those milestones on the grounds this spring. We regret having to take these steps, but we are following medical and public health advice and doing our best to protect the health and well-being of our students, faculty, staff, Charlottesville neighbors, as well as the capacity of UVA Health. As you know, we are a strong and resilient community, and we will weather the storm with the creativity, dedication, and compassion that are hallmarks of UVA. Sincerely, Jim Ryan, President. I was just uplifted by that. And if you want to, you can discount that. You can discount that because I'm alumni here. You can discount that because I wear the blue and orange proudly. You can discount that because we're the national champions. Oops, that doesn't count. But I just thought that was a great approach. And at the time he did it, it seemed like a very forward step because people weren't taking those actions yet. In fact, offices and restaurants were not closing down at that point. And here he is closing one of the big universities on the East Coast. So that really says something. And something aligned with me when I heard this that I'll attribute to Jay Billis, who is an attorney in Charlotte, but better known as being a former Duke University basketball player. And he's an analyst on ESPN. You remember that channel? We used to watch that. Yeah. Okay, well, Jay Billis said this. He said, I think he attributed the quote to somebody he had met in his past, an athletic director somewhere, and I don't want to misattribute it. But he did say this. He said, things that you know you're going to have to do at some point down the road, you should do now. That's a great leadership skill right there. Without question. That's a great leadership skill right there. There are lots of times we have heard people talking about at the federal government level, the state government level, in municipalities here in the RVA and around us, the counties around us. Well, it may come to this point. Well, if it may come to this point, that point is now. Get that done. So the hesitancy from top to bottom that here on April 4th, and it's April 4th as I sit here recording this, is just really caused us a loss in our inability to flatten the curve, as the saying is, that we would have been able to take care of. It's really difficult. So the takeaway from that is this. When there's something that needs to be done, we should go ahead and do it now. If we're going to have to do it at some point, we should just go ahead and get it done. All right, that's the takeaway for today. Thank you guys for being here. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. You can reach out to me. I'm on Twitter at Bob Nolly. You can get me at the Labrador Leadership page. I am Bob at LabradorLeadership.com. Let me hear from you. Take care of yourself. We always say that. And one other person. See you tomorrow.